Welcome back into my basement and in front of the curtain, back in with another episode of Illiana Stock Car Radio Podcast. Said it right. Fresh off.
Look at you. All you got to be is sleep deprived.
Oh, jeez, yeah. I can't believe I didn't drink any caffeine today.
Okay, now I'm impressed.
I did take a nap after work.
Okay. I should have, but did not.
Which is why I'm a little bit behind on the 3,000 photos from Kankakee County Speedway. We were getting it in last night. That was awesome. And F anybody who complains about class count, because we knocked out that show. And it helped.
Yeah, we were done, what, by 10:30?
10:30, 10:45. I think I texted Kels about 11 that we were hitting the road. So about 10:30, 10:45. So all things considered, 4.5 hour show.
Yeah.
That included, well, no, take that back. Well, yeah, I guess if you go to 6 qualifying.
Well, yeah, if you include qualifying and hot laps there, yeah.
About a 4.5 hour show. And, we talked about it on the way home last night that I think a big difference was it wasn't early in the Hell Tour, so everyone
it fielded kind of solidified by then.
Yeah, they know the plan, and we didn't have 40 late models to qualify. We only had 25. Mm-hmm. And
right, it was a Monday night after a holiday weekend.
Yeah, one broke. The 18 of Provenzano broke in qualifying, and Mitch McGrath also broke, but he hopped in Fager's backup just to start and park. So we started 24, and what a hell of a race those late models.
Yeah,
were,
Yeah, that was awesome.
And
I know Josh Lank will have something to say about me calling dirt track racing awesome, but yeah, that was just fun being out there for that.
I think half of Shady Hill and Kankakee will probably say something about it.
I've never been opposed to dirt racing. I told Josh last night, yeah. I don't dislike dirt racing. I'm just scheduled to be at the asphalt track.
Yeah, well, we like to harass you because you always complain when I bring home dirty equipment.
Well, now that's because it takes a lot to clean that stuff off.
Yeah, but we had a few unexpected entries, and one of them was Carson Ferguson, and he put on a hell of a race with eventual winner Tanner English, and Fager I know was coming pretty hard too. That sounded terrible, but he got up there, but he ended up having a tire problem. It sounds like in the last couple laps, and
yeah,
I think he still got a top 5. But,
and you know what? I was talking a little bit with you last night, and then with Aaron a little bit at the track. Shout out to Dan DeYoung making this show. That man has been racing since we started going to the races. At Illiana, South Lake, I can remember always once or twice a year Dan DeYoung would show up. So the fact that he's still going, that's pretty awesome.
Well, the DeYoung is another racing family that we now have much closer ties to with Brad and Bo and all the hangouts that we have there at Shady Hill and now Kankakee, and it was a great show. Stephen Brooks ended up winning the modified portion with Mike McKinney pulling off early with a flat right rear. I believe.
Oh yeah, that had to be just like soul crushing.
I assume it was probably ended up being something worse because I think you could do a flat tire and come back out.
Yeah.
So I think it was something more than that.
But yeah, McKinney and Brooks were putting on. That was a hell of a race they had going.
Yeah. So if you're in the Kankakee area on a Friday night, those two usually have a good race every Friday night. But yeah, moving on to stock cars. Zane Reitz won that. Our little buddy Cam Nicouli tried the high side and spun her around. And, Rick Zivko picked up the Sport Compact feature victory, and Electric Joe Hillman won the Crown Vics. And good racing all throughout. Everything pretty smooth. Only a couple minor wrecks, nothing serious, which is always good. But yeah, man, Hell Tour is they're heading into their 5th week, so they did finally wrap up their first week points wise, and that gave Tanner English the overall win for week 1. He had won the overall for week 4, I think.
Man,
So that
that's
kid,
almost like that Ryan Lagasty longest feature ever.
yeah, that guy has certainly pocketed a lot of cash here the past couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
And they head out to Montpelier tonight. In fact, I'm kind of watching it. If you watch my eyes go down, they're running heats, and I'm kind of following along here. And they start in week 5, final week. So they're in Montpelier tonight, and then they head up to Michigan for I-96, Crystal, and I forget the last one. And then they head to Ohio and finish things off there with the birthday race, I believe it's called. I think it's Friday, Saturday, or no, it would be Saturday, Sunday. So, the Hell Tour's wrapping up, which means Mars is coming back around, and it is PDC month, which we mentioned, I think, 2 weeks ago, or maybe last week. But Prairie Dirt Classic is coming up here in, I think, 2 weeks from this coming Saturday over at Fairbury. Maybe it's 3 weeks. Either way, kind of big crown jewel season, kind of in the middle of it. And, so a lot coming up dirt racing wise. I know also with it being summer, it's kind of fair time, and that's coming up, here in Porter County. We got the concerts and demolition derbies, and Grundy's got everything they've got going on.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized, I don't know why I'm doing all the preview shit. I just got to rambling.
So much of that sleep deprived.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, going back a few days.
Yeah.
So
NASCAR
Shady Hill.
There we go.
Yeah, NASCAR was in town. We'll get to that. Shady Hill got rained out. That's part of the thing. See what Kankakee did they didn't race Friday, did they?
They rained out.
They got rained out Friday. Shady Hill got rained out Saturday.
Yep.
Grundy raced Thursday because NASCAR was in town. Being 20 minutes away from Joliet definitely was a good idea to not try to pull fans away from that, but it's try to work with the tracks that are around you, including the big NASCAR one. So we ran super late models, pure stocks, and midgets all on Thursday. I didn't get any more sleep than you did.
We're just saying weird ass random shit.
Yeah. So DJ Weltmeyer bringing home fast time and the win in the Star Spangled Summer Bash 100. It's a thing. Yeah. So we'll talk to him about that here in a few minutes. # spoilers. Dominic Matz, I want to say that was his first pure stock win, bringing home the feature in the pure stock division. And Scott Dunning finally parking it in victory lane in the midget division for the feature there. That was, yeah. So congratulations to all those drivers, and hopefully everybody made it through that adequately hydrated. I know there were a couple health issues going on. Andy Jones ended up missing the race because he wasn't feeling good because it was like 1.5 million degrees, and I know I drank a lot of water. There was a lot of water going down there at Grundy.
Good.
And then a lot of water came down atmospherically.
Yeah.
Both Kankakee, Shady Hill. Aaron and I were at South Bend on Saturday for their Hornets plus Night of Destruction plus fireworks. And
how did Buju do?
Buju, I think he didn't do a whole lot. I think, I'll tell you this story to tell you another story. Buju had the putting a car together too quickly, I think, and there was some, I want to say it was electronic gremlins that didn't quite get ironed out before it came time to put the car on the track. So he was struggling all day, but even with all the car problems he was having, the smile you could not take off his face. He was happy to be home, and I'm happy that he was home. So then I was actually talking with James Dimmitt during the pre-race. He wasn't there. I was messaging him on Facebook, sitting up, # occupy videographer seats, because we would always kind of sit in the same spot up there during practice while I was shooting out over the fence, and he was getting his video stuff set up. And I said, man, I remember sitting up here and looked down in the pits, and yeah, there's 120 cars here, and 130 of them are Hornets. And he said, oh, that must be Tony math. I said, well, it is definitely Tony math, but there are a lot of Hornets here. I think we ended up with like 24, 25, somewhere in there.
So
And not all of them were related.
So not
I
quite
think about
projected 96, huh?
Yeah, I think about half of them were all part of the same family. The Holloway, Verdine, Horton, Hazley, whoever else is related or tangentially related, which I think Buju actually counts as one of those.
Yeah.
But so enough anyway that we had a full A feature and a full B feature. Dakota Milborn, also part of that clan, brought home the A feature win, and the other half of the Buju story is after Buju got his car functional, Evan Verdine decided, hey, let's throw a car together so I can race too. And I think the story on that is 3 days Evan and Mike and whoever was around to add a wrench put a car together, and Evan and Kaylee Verdine came home 1-2 in the B feature.
Oh wow! Awesome.
So we had a little family reunion down there in the infield because about half the cars in the race pulled in to be in the victory lane picture.
Awesome. Well, that's a unique, neat story. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and honestly, hats off to Evan. I think a few more laps, Kaylee might have had him.
Yeah.
Not to stir the pot there, because I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because I think the schedule has me out at Plymouth on Saturday where they're racing all late models, street stocks, and Hornets. So, going to be right back in the Verdine clan again. So.
We're just going to talk about whatever, whenever tonight.
Yeah, pretty much. We'll cover all this after the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, we got rained on for probably 20 minutes to a half hour or so. So we were all hunkered down in the media center / ambulance back area for a little bit. And then, it was a, racing and rain is kind of a thing, but doing Night of Destruction stuff, the rain, I think, made the races better.
Yeah.
It slicked down track. I think the first race we did after the rain was the bucket race where you got to keep water in a bucket that you tie down to the top of your car. So probably helped out those drivers a little bit.
Yeah.
And then
cap
the night off with one of Fire in the Sky's infamous, I guess, fireworks shows. As much as it rained and everything was waterlogged, that was still one hell of a show. So yeah, if you have a chance, I think he's doing another one in October, maybe.
Go to Facebook and check them out.
Yeah, go to Facebook, check out Plymouth Motor Speedway. I can speak. Plymouth Motor Speedway and/or South Bend Motor Speedway. Check on their schedule because that is definitely worth the price of admission.
Sure. We can't speak highly enough about it. Not that I've ever seen it.
Yeah, I can't really speak anyway.
I'll take your word for it, though.
But, is that everything we did? NASCAR was in town, and there was a lot of rain there.
They got ARCA in. Then
They did?
I believe Friday they had a flood, got ARCA in, and then
right.
Saturday
I think the rains came right after ARCA finished on Friday. Saturday got shoved back. I think the race finished after midnight.
Yep. And Sunday, rain moved out, and they got the night race in, which was
that was kind of different out there. Yeah, I know there's been a lot of discourse on Facebook and in my telephone, depending on who I'm talking to at the time, about whether or not NASCAR actually sold out versus all the empty seats. And I saw a lot of comments about how the rain kind of really wrecked the parking lot. That's how they were parking people down at 66 and busing them up to the track. People were in line for 3 hours to get in. I saw a couple people were commenting that they didn't get into the stands until after the first stage was over. So, it's probably some growing pains, and hopefully they are in fact growing pains as opposed to this being a one-off. And it was a failed experiment, because I think that race definitely showed that Chicagoland deserves a spot on the schedule. maybe not in the middle of summer when it's 150 million degrees with 200% humidity.
Yeah, and rain.
Let's pick a not record-setting temperature and precipitation weekend.
Yeah, definitely. But outside of that, Kokomo raced one of their handful of weekends. They have I think it's always the night of July 3rd, where they run a special and have fireworks afterwards. And Ricky Lewis won the sprints there. Tyler Spalding, our buddy out of Michigan, Tyler and his dad Kurt come down to Shady Hill quite a bit to run our big shows. And Tyler ended up winning the modifieds, and then whatever a Thunder car is these days, I'll leave that up to Facebook to debate. Colin Grissom won that. So Kokomo is they're local to us. I know the Clash comes up. A lot of our guys at Shady Hill head that way. Some Kankakee guys head that way, and I know some of our asphalt/dirt fans out of South Bend probably head that way for some shows. High Limits there, or Lucas Oil, or whatever is going on. So yeah, they're local enough that we'll report on them. But yeah, it's a lot of rain in the area, and now it looks like we're gearing up for a lot of heat again. So we'll dry out and then probably get wet and then dry out and then get wet, back and forth, which means probably a lot of character in the dirt tracks. And watch out for them floodplains in the parking lots. With me having the weekend off, I pretty much just did work in the basement and not on this stuff on the computer. And just kind of drank some beer and hung out with friends. It's pretty rare that I get to hang out on the 4th of July when we celebrate. I'm either at the track or got to work the next day, and it's usually chill. And with the rain pushing through Saturday night, Valpo fireworks got moved to Sunday, so we were able to hang out all day Saturday, and then Sunday get together with the gang again and go watch some fireworks. And I don't know if I could compare it to Fire in the Sky by any means, but they put on a hell of a show here.
Yeah, it was a pretty good show here too.
And that's I think something that I think I've lost a little bit is that having that community. But I've certainly found it in the racing world. But I am very homesick for Valpo, and even though I live here, but I don't do a lot of community stuff. Because I'm at the racetrack or football season, holy shit, we got a rollover. Sorry. If you're watching Hell Tour right now, which would have been
a couple days ago.
Right back to Tuesday at Montpelier, we got Steve Peden on his side, and looks like little 91 Carter's flank underneath him.
And I'd say breaking news if this wasn't coming out in 3 days.
Breaking news tonight, but not really when we air this. But, holy shit. All right. Anyway.
Hey, welcome back.
Yeah. Right after this commercial break. Oh, man. We need to probably get more sleep before we do this again. But that being said, we got our buddy DJ Weltmeyer, big winner, Thursday night, July 2nd, over at the Grundy County Motor Speedway to come talk all things that night. I think it'll be a very interesting conversation with him. We get promoters on here, we get some drivers on here, and he's a very technical guy, and I think he'll go into detail on some things, and we look forward to this chat with him and hear all about his big win. All right, welcoming in our guest, friend of the show, occasional appearance, DJ Weltmeyer, big winner last Thursday, July 2nd, in the Star Spangled Bash 100. I think last week.
Star Spangled Summer Bash 100.
Yeah, there we go. Big winner,
little
DJ
twister there. Yeah, what's going on, gentlemen? How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Doing good. Recovering from Kankakee.
Yeah, it was a good show out there last night. 5 divisions. They had the Hell Tour roll through the rescheduled night.
It's a busy night.
Fortunately, I couldn't take the day off today, so I was back delivering beer. 5 a.m. clocked in, 4 a.m. wake up. Actually, it was probably 4:40, and my wife was waking me up.
There you go. Never stops, right?
Yeah. But we made it, and here we are getting to talk to you about your big win. I know few weeks ago you were putting a lot of pressure on there in the junkyard dog triple 30s and just couldn't quite get it done. But here you are, ended up at Victory Lane. Big payday. I saw the photo of you, very excited. That's awesome.
Yep. No, I was pumped up.
Tell us all about your big win, DJ.
Well, it started off really good. The night started off, practice went okay. We wanted to feel the car out on old tires, and it seemed to feel pretty decent. Qualifying, we were like mid-pack because of how the faster practice guys qualify towards the end of that deal. So a little nerve-wracking knowing the whole fast part of the field is qualifying after you, but it held up by like a half a tenth. So that was cool. I got an awesome flag shot, great pictures from Goodacre Photography. Check those guys out over at goodacrephotography.com if you want some downloaded files, some pictures and stuff. So I got a 4th of July picture that I could use forever with the new paint scheme and everything. So I was really thrilled with that. And then the race, got started off and felt pretty good. We started on the bottom and we moved our way forward. And then calamity ensued behind me, apparently. I actually didn't know the caution came out. There was a caution like 2 laps in, and then we restacked the field up, and then we went like, I don't know, 4 or 5 more laps, and it was like 7 laps in or so. And they're like, you're leaking, bring the car in. I'm like, okay, you're perfect. There's a caution. I didn't know it was for us at the time, everything's going on. So we were able to start back in the field, and there was 92 or 93 to go, and just kind of pick our way forward. And the car was working really well. Our fellow competitors, raced hard and raced clean. When we got a line on them and had them, pretty dead to rights, we were given a lane by everybody. And then we got up to 6th or so, and then a couple cars spun out in front of us. So we had luck go our way for once. I told everybody, after those triple 30s that, we just need a little luck to fall on our side, catch some breaks and stuff, and that helped too. So the final restart was like, 68 or so, 69 to go, and it was a long run. It was a hot run, and we were able to track down the 45 and kind of see where we were beating them. We were, trying to be as patient as possible, keep the tires on it, and able to squeeze by them there with 20 or so to go and hang on for the win.
Awesome, man. Yeah. To do it from the back, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, back in the Argo days, that you could take that as an option and get extra money. I don't think they ever offered it a couple laps in.
No, that was definitely not what we were going for. It could have been a lot easier of a time we got to the top 5 within the first 10 or so laps, so I was excited with that. But I had Phil Martin in my ear spotting for me all night long. My dad. They're just trying to do the best they can to go. What do you tell somebody? Hey, you just had a killer car, good run, and now we're in the back of the pack to start this really big race. So, patience was our key to making it work and not being overly aggressive for making some of those passes and letting it kind of come to us. So.
Patience in a race car. That's not talked about very much.
Yeah, it's hard to think about and talk about, let alone actually do in the car. So it was just it was a good night overall. It was really hot. I think I capped out in Victory Lane there when I was screaming. I kind of like went overboard, and the adrenaline wore off very quickly. And definitely some water and Gatorade and stuff to rehydrate. Afterwards, we were okay, but right in the heat of the moment, in that it definitely hit me all at once. So it's like everything goes away when the green flag's out, and then checkered flag comes, and it just comes rushing back. Whether you're wore out or hot or whatever the case is, whatever you're feeling, they all somehow come back to get you tenfold. So.
Yeah, I know. I probably drank 1.5 gallons of water over the course of the night. I think they gave you that much just in Victory Lane there.
Yeah, I probably had throughout the day. I've been telling people around 16 to 18 like Gatorades and waters like throughout the day, and I like had electrolytes and I mean your body can only take so much. I mean 45 minutes or so or 50 minutes. We were standing out there for an hour before that in the fire suits doing the autograph session, like that added, you know what I mean? It was hot. There was no, the girls in bikinis with the umbrellas, out there or anything. So Grundy doesn't have a whole lot of structures, when the sun's hitting you. So we were out there for 45 minutes, a lot of autographs, a lot of fans. So I was really happy with that, to see a lot of people out there and supporting Grundy and supporting the racetrack and us even. So that was cool to do, but like that added to it. So it's like an hour you're standing, you're out there, and then buckle up and get after it for 100. So
I guess that's going to raise the age-old question: do drivers pee in their driver's suit if they gotta go?
I don't think I had enough fluids in me to do that. That wasn't until much later in the night. So I didn't. I've never done that, but I'm sure there's been time and place for that.
Yeah. Well, that's an awesome win. I guess I gotta ask you, as a driver, do you prefer, we talked about patience a little bit here, those long races, the 100-lap races, or do you like those 30, 40-lap races, get in and get out?
Preferably, I like the longer ones. I think, these Hoosier tires are so darn good. Those people at the plant make such good tires. And the way they're designed, they can run anywhere in the country, but these tires last, so like we're doing, back in the day, we were 25 laps was a normal run, but we were on a different tire. It was on 1070s. They were harder. They repeated good, but they weren't as gripped up as we are now. So we're on a touring series tire at Grundy. We're doing track record times. These cars are stuck to the track. So when we can put 40, 50, 60 laps on them, then the chassis can show up, then the drivers can show up, and we can really modulate the throttle and do some things driving line wise to like make speed where you kind of got what you got when it's these, like the first 30 lapper of these triple 30s, like everybody was pretty gripped up, and you saw, a lot of guys that started up front kind of finished there, and there wasn't a whole lot of moving around because everybody was riding on tires. So once, a couple heat cycles got on them, guys started slipping a little bit more. The chassis started to show up, and the handling of the actual car itself, that's where I really like to shine. We had the other car we used. It was good for that too, where it just wasn't blazing fast on new tires, and it was able to work its way up towards the front of the field. This car, a little bit different, but still it's kind of the same thing. Like the major differences in speed are really towards those last 50 laps where you can see guys struggling or guys going forward. So like I'm a big fan of the longer races.
Yeah, sure. I like the longer races too.
You like going backwards.
How about for you guys? Is it more fun to shoot like a bunch of like the triple 30s, or is the longer race, like, is it any different from your perspective behind the lens?
Yes and no. For me anyway, like the longer races, like you were saying, gives you an opportunity to shoot more things happening. Because like, early on, I got, pictures of like Larry Schuler and Rich Bickle there racing together. And then Rich took off and Larry kind of faded. Well, in 30-lap races, that happens. Okay, well, that's the end of the pictures. But, when you got this DJ Weltmeyer guy coming from the back, I think I got a picture of him passing everybody on the track through there. So, by the end of the race, it's like it's kind of a whole different race to shoot. So I kind of look at it in stages because back a million years ago at Illiana, I was actually talking to a former pace truck driver out there, Lee Mose, about long race like this. And he said, really, it's three things. You get your first 20 or so laps where everybody sorts out and finds their places. And then everybody rides around and tries to save their equipment. And then you get the last 20 laps when, okay, now it's time to go race. So you get, different stages. Sorry, can't say stages. Different, you get a little bit different racing through there versus, you get the 30 lap, okay, in and done. It is what it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I get that. No, but the pictures I looked through, you guys, and plus the turnaround. I mean, between, I don't know if you guys did South Bend or Plymouth, Grundy, Kankakee, Shady Hill. Like, it had to be thousands of pictures that you guys have gone through and edited, and within 2 days during a holiday weekend, had the links up and the pictures ready to go. That was insane to me to have those up, and I got to share them right away. So it was awesome.
Well, it helps when you have
having Friday off work helped.
Yeah. But yeah, we do okay on our turnaround. We certainly have a timeline that we're kind of up against. Having multiple tracks, we're turning right around, going right back at it Friday night. And sometimes we got 2 or 3 nights in the week that we're shooting, and we do our best. And sometimes we get caught up, and things do fall, between the cracks, and we miss out on some stuff. But that's the unfortunate part of this is, as racing is expensive, and that's where sponsorships come in. But not too many people are looking to sponsor a photographer.
Dude, that's the crowd, the fans are your sponsors, man. They just gotta keep buying pictures and supporting you guys, and it makes it so much
we
better.
appreciate everyone that supports us. Even if it's just stealing the screenshot and putting that up with the shopping cart and the big logo in there. We look at that as free advertisement at this point. But yeah, like it's we do a lot, right? And everybody kind of knows that. And unfortunately, we do have day jobs, and so we do have bills to pay, and so that kind of has to be a primary focus sometimes. Like, I don't know when I'm gonna get these Hell Tour photos up. I'm shooting. I got a day in mind that I'm shooting for, but we're doing the podcast. I'm working, delivering beer. Who knows when I get done? I start early, I work late, and this is a big beer drinking season, so that's kind of where I'm at, with things. But to go back to your question, I do like the long races. You get to see a lot of different things. I think watching dirt has really kind of changed that a little bit for me, just because the track changes so much, and at some point it goes away. And so it's not so much a tire game, and then the chassis comes in. It's there's no track here, It's just the freight train, one lane kind of show. And it doesn't matter what kind of track prep the track facility does. It's just you end up getting what you get, and it sucks because there's places that are absolute gold mines and just can't get quite on top of the track prep. And then there's other places that have everything they need. They can't get fans, and so they close.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
But that aside, looking at races, those 30-lap races, man, it's a hurry. Those 25-lap weekly features, it's a hurry. Everybody wants to win. I think at some point when you realize, you've got a lot of money involved in this, you're not really pushing that hard. But you start in those first couple front rows, and those first 10 laps, everybody's pushing hard. I really enjoy that. And they're beating and they're banging, and Rubby's racing. I've said it the past 5 episodes, I think. Like, that's what I really enjoy. Wrecks are cool to watch. It's thrilling and it's exciting.
Expensive.
You don't want to see big wrecks, much like you were kind of at the tail end of it, but that big wreck at Illiana where Dean Patterson ended up on top of Eddie Hoffman.
Oh yeah, it took out the whole field.
No, I was under whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, we totaled 3 or 4 cars just in that one crash, and we talk about saving the sport, keeping the sport going, growing, and we talk about this one incident from over a decade ago, and T1 brought out a brand new car that night, and it was totaled. And so you look at the expensive side of things, but when it comes down to it, I love the short races just because of that got to get up there and got to win. Robin is racing, sort of mentality.
Yep. No, it's definitely a different mindset. All your actions at the front of the race, and it's the most dangerous because everybody's the most aggressive and has the best tires and is the most refreshed they are the whole night. So it's a respect thing. It's an effort thing on everybody's part, and I don't know which one's more difficult, is being consistent for a longer period of time or being aggressive carefully for a shorter period of time. You know what I mean? So you want to make moves that you normally wouldn't make, but you have to make because there's only 15 to go and you're in 4th, and there's the guys are pulling away, and there's not 30 cars on the racetrack, so cautions are not going to happen every 5 laps, and we're clicking off faster laps than ever. So we have 15-second lap times. You got 5 minutes, 8 minutes to make something happen, pass a couple of the faster cars that are a half a tenth off of you. You know what I mean? Like the pole for this big race was like 0.12 off of the pole who hit the invert, the ninth position. So it's not like they're slow. That's one thing that like I don't know if that would ever change around here, but like down south and like NASCAR, like you get the pole and you get rewarded, and I feel like you get like penalized for getting the pole around here. Like I don't know if it would be a boring race or not, because maybe they don't have speed that's lasting the whole race, but like we get the pole and we're 10th to start the race, and it's like, all right, you got 40 laps to pass 9 cars you beat out by 3 feet. You know what I mean? So it's not like we're a half a second faster than the guys that we're inverting, even if it's 6. I mean, it's hard. You go there and points are involved, and you're trying as hard as you can to qualify well, and then you got to start behind everybody you just worked hard to out qualify. So that's kind of rough, but I don't know what we can do at this point to change that. But I thought, the triple 30s was decent where it started. It kind of started like that. I thought it was going to be straight up for the first one, but it wasn't. There was still an invert and stuff. So it kind of is what it is. But yeah.
Well, there's plenty of complaining about that exact scenario on dirt.
That's a bit of a can of worms there.
Yeah. I don't know how I got onto that subject, but it's just something I was thinking about.
Everybody, it's the wheel of death, they say, wheel of doom, at the Eldora races, where they work hard to qualify. So they qualify, get to pull the heat, however that kind of shakes out, because it's very invert driven. So, if they have 4 heats, those are your top 4 fastest are like kind of the pole sitter basically for each of those heats. And they go out, they win their heat, and then they go get inverted in the feature. And I think like 8th is like the deepest they would go. But it's very similar to, I just worked to go get the fastest time tonight, and now I got to work again to go past all those people who are just as fast as me.
Right.
In the realm of racing, a 100th of a second is a big difference. But as like, if you're looking from the outside, 100th of a second, man, you are almost the same speed.
Yeah.
As the other guys right there with you.
Yep.
And as a fan watching, I really love the bracket racing, because that A feature, there was like maybe 100th of a second between the pole sitter and this 20th starter. And I think that's really unique. And you got a bunch of guys that are going the same speed. And they beat and they bang, trying to win that. Well, it was a trip to Bahamas, and now I think it's just cash. But, yeah, I think looking at it from a fan's perspective, you want to see some racing. And I went down to Pensacola. I went over to Five Flags, and my mind was blown that they didn't run heats. They just qualified and raced a feature.
Yep.
Like
the Blizzard Series and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just, my head was kind of spinning like, wait a second, what do we pay for? And, so yeah, that's exactly how they started. You set fast time, you're first.
Sure.
And there's a lot of argument to that can put on a good race too.
Sure.
Because Stephen Nasse and Bubba Pollard put on a really good race. Bubba Pollard ran out of car late both nights. And I think he was fast time both nights. He was like lap 70, his car went away.
Sure.
So I wasn't sure if it was tires, I wasn't sure if it was chassis, but Stephen Nasse, ran a really good race. And I think there was a guy coming. I can't think of his name, but I've heard of it. I've heard of him before, and he just kind of ran out of time. But yeah, you look at those long races, and there's a lot that can happen, and it's really unique to hear a driver's perspective who knows the ins and outs, right? You go to a dirt track and, okay, we're beating and banging. I got 4 tires on the thing, and there's not a whole lot of geometry when you're talking like street stocks and stuff. But when you get to these specialized super late models and stuff, man, there's all kinds of numbers, and my head is spinning thinking about it.
Yeah, there's 50 ways to do it, and there may be for your perspective, everybody's in a Longhorn, 90% of the field, and they're all different setups. Every driver wants something to feel a little different, to go the same speed. And it's, for us too, there's Hamke's and Furies and Senecers and Van Dorns and Port Cities, and we have a CRF, and they're all the same but different. I mean, they're all It's all metal, it's all different geometries and things like that. But even on, the factory, the Hamke teams themselves, there's the Donnie Wilsons. They're not running the same setup. They have different drivers, different fuels, and things that they're looking for to make it so they can go as fast. And they're running the same speed. They both run whatever the time is within a half a tenth of each other with totally different setups. So it's a difficult thing to ponder on, to figure out what's best, especially what track you're at, how much the tires wear. Grundy's a slick track, and it produces good racing for long races and for short races. I mean, there's guys struggling in a 30 lapper and a 40 lapper, and obviously it's going to happen way more in a longer race, the 100 lappers and things like that. But the cars that are good in a 30 or 40 lapper may not have enough car to be there at the end of these 100 lappers. So, but then you'll see some guys that are good at both. You know what I mean? So it's all driver, car, track, tire. There's so many variables in racing, weather dependent. If it's 100 degrees, I feel really bad for Andy Jones. Had a really fast race car, and I've seen him, working on the tires and building the set, and the heat got to him, and he was working hard, man. I mean, and he's in good shape, and they got a really fast car as well, and he cut a really good qualifying lap. And he did something that nobody wants to do, and do kind of a start and park deal. But we've all seen it with Kyle Busch and stuff like that, and it's on everybody's mind. You got to live to fight another day. So I mean, he's won a lot of races, and he's going to win a lot more. So I definitely hate it for those guys, but making that decision had to be tough. But it's the right move if you're going to hurt somebody.
Right.
Not let alone yourself. There's other people out there, and I was pretty gassed at the end of that race, being that hot, and I know there was people worse than I was even. So it's important to try to be as safe for yourself and for your competitors out there as well.
This is your PSA for staying hydrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drink a lot of water. No, you know how crazy I am. So like this heat is like, it's gonna come back too. I think for next week it's supposed to be hot.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to get another heat dome.
Yeah. So, and I have like a 3-inch brake fan that's like mounted behind my car with like no outside air. So I'm fixing that for this week. So I'm getting some outside air. But I've been like eating lunch outside in the sun like the last 2 weeks, trying to acclimate and be ready for like this heat. And I don't know if it helped me, but I don't know that it hurt me either. So it's the things we do, like it's like I go to work with Erica, so I don't put the heat on the way home, but I would. So, but it's, you're trying to train and but that's like we're not professional as far as like, we have real jobs, you know what I mean? So there's everybody's like that though, that we're racing against. They have their jobs too, and we're all trying to do something we love as safe and affordable as we can, So
yeah. And we chose racing.
Yeah. I don't know. We could have chose like hockey is a little cooler, I guess, even if
or fishing.
Fishing, yeah. So
yeah. So we talked quite a bit about all the special numbers and geometry and all the things you can do to win. Let's talk about throwing it back a little bit to the old days when you just threw some hockey pucks on there and raced, and where you kind of got your inspiration for this year's paint scheme.
Yeah, no, I mean, I grew up obviously in a racing family. My dad raced since he was 15, but he said he was 16, so that's where the 16 number comes from. I'm 16. This is my number,
Wait, does that mean Uncle Bob was a little too young?
He was older than my dad anyway, so I think he was good. But yeah, my dad and my Uncle Bobby both had the Weltmeyer towing extra paint from Harvey, and they slapped it on all their tow trucks, had some extra, and painted their cars like that. So I've seen tons of pictures. Chris has done a great job on iRacing, making the designs for me to run the old school paint scheme. So we had Jim Eriks with Highland Body Shop do an awesome job, and I begged my dad forever. I'm like, hey man, let's do this paint scheme. And finally I'm like at the point where all right, I'm buying a wrap, I'm wrapping the car, we're gonna do it. I got like this cost and got it all quoted and stuff to install it myself, but to get the material. And he's like, oh, it's gonna add weight to the car and all this. I'm like, dude, we're going to Grundy, man. It's not like Daytona. So I got a hold of Jim Eriks at Highland Body Shop, and I'm like, hey, I got this idea. This is what I think I want to do, and I think it'll look awesome. And he I don't think he waited 5 seconds. He's like, yep, bring over the stuff. Let's go. Let's do it. So we went and picked out like the best matching yellow we could find. And I'm glad we got the black front and rear bumper covers. Those seem to be used and abused this year, every year. We're so used to the white cars, and I'll get under somebody and I'll just get like a tire mark that I'll get it week 1 and it just stays there all year. So like it's hidden a lot of the tire marks that are on there for this year, so you can't see them. We get run into on the left rear all the time, so that hides a bunch of stuff. And no, it's really cool. Chris, I don't know how he does it, but I'm just like, here's a picture from 45 years ago. Can I get this number style? And I turn back like 2 days later, and I get like the most cool design that looks just like the styling and everything that he had, and the colors and everything. And I think so. The number, I think Woody Poole designed it and painted it because I guess there was some kind of gold leaf chrome that he always used. So if you look at our number and like Woody Poole's old 02, that's the same kind of color because that was like his main color he used for all this stuff. I didn't know that until he said that. I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. But I love the design. I wanted, if we're doing it, we're putting it forward. So I waited till he went home and I put the number forward and slapped it on the car. So I'm like, we're doing a full 100% throwback of it. Yeah, and we got Engine Masters, Denovi on board, Hoosier on board. But yeah, Jim Eriks knocked it out of the park over in Highland Body Shop. Check those guys out for any kind of collision damage, paint work, buffing. They're busy because they do a really good job. So check those guys out if you want anything done to your car.
That's awesome. Yeah, we certainly love the unique, and yellow race cars are extremely unique.
Yes. Yeah. It's really easy to find on Damn It Dim It race videos too. Check those guys out on YouTube. Yeah. He does the videos like every day, and he posts them like the next day as well. So he's great with that. But it's super, that's cool. And then like Larry Schuler's new paint scheme without the pink and black, I was confused. Right. I'm still confused. Where I'm thinking it's my car out there because he looks like at a glance just like the paint scheme we've been running. So, but yeah, the bright yellow is easy to find. It's easy to spot in all the pictures. Hopefully it's easy for Phil and my dad to find on the track to spot, but even they were confused for the first couple of weeks, I'm over here. They're like clear. I'm like, guys, I'm not over there anymore. You know what I mean? What are you talking about? They're like, oh crap, So we're steadily getting used to it. We got some merch that's out that we're gonna have in the Goodacre photography booth. So if you guys want a t-shirt, check out that booth there. But you can also get it at the trailer or order it online, and we shipped them all out and stuff too. So it's kind of like a not a last hurrah, but like a cool a throwback year for us. So if all goes well, I don't see any reason to change it at this point.
Yeah.
Sure. Awesome.
I mean, unless you want to go red and white Coors or make a call over to Evergreen.
Yeah, no, right now.
Yeah, I know a guy that's got some connections to Coors.
There you go. If something were to happen, I think a Coors scheme could definitely be in the works. I think that could be a thing for sure.
I know a guy.
There you go.
I know a few guys.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, before you head out, why don't you take a minute and let's do one positive for you, which I got a pretty good idea what it might be.
Okay. I mean, my one positive for the sport, I mean, it's just, seeing people out there, seeing fans out there and supporting your racetracks. I was a little worried the first time we pulled the car out for the autograph session, and it was a decent crowd, but I think everybody might have been waiting in their cars or something because it just seemed like it was just a sea of people after the races. So that was awesome to see. Obviously winning, that was the biggest race of my life there. So, having the respect of the field, going through the field and stuff, that's two positives or three positives. But man, it's been a pretty good year. We're hoping to continue that on.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we look forward to definitely cheering you on at the racetrack and
Mm-hmm.
seeing you continue to have a successful year. And before you head out, go ahead and thank all of your supporters and sponsors.
Oh man, well the supporters. You said the supporters, man. We had the supporter program this year. I think we're gonna do it next year. So everybody on the back of the car, I want to say it was 32 different groups of people that jumped
Sounds
on
about
board. Yeah, Chris helped me with the stickers for that, and those people. I mean, they helped us jump to that next level. We were able to get a couple more things that just weren't in budget. So like every little name on there was a extreme help for us. Engine Masters has been a great help. Denovi Motorsports has been awesome. Hoosier Racing Tire, TWR, Highland Body Shop, my dad, my mom, my wife Erica, and Dash. Erica is so patient with me. We work on these cars like every day. I was in there before I came down here to talk to you guys. So she's right now. We're expecting our second child in December. So it's 95 degrees out, and I have a 1-year-old. So stay home. You know what I mean? Like let's not get crazy. So Erica is in full support, and I couldn't do this without her. My sister's been amazing with her daughters, Lucy and Mirabelle. They've been super supportive from the get-go. They've been awesome. All my family, my Uncle Ronnie, my Aunt Flo. I'm going to miss a bunch of people. But, just my direct family is super supportive. The Tatro side of things. And the Weltmeyer side's awesome, and Patsy and everybody. I mean, the pictures for the exposure, you guys do an awesome job. There's so many people that go into this to make it successful. Terry's Race Engines, Joe O'Connor with Competition Transmissions gets us going in the right direction. It's a culmination of people. It's not one thing, and I'm so grateful to be able to do what I do, and do it to the level that we're doing it at right now. It's relieving because I was doubtful for a couple of years. It's been a minute, but man, it's so enjoyable and fun, and seeing the little kids around. I'm always trying to write their names on the cards that we're signing to give them that experience that I had. I had such good drivers that I got to sit in their cars or go and talk to them, and I'm a little guy, and now I'm 6'2", towering over these people, so I'm trying to kneel down and get on their level and stuff because it's an experience. You know what I mean? Every little kid, they may not get to go to the track. I was there 2 tracks, 50 times a year. But this could be a once a year thing for somebody, and I recognize that. And even if it's just regular adults too or fans, it's awesome to have that support. I could hear the cheers in the car when the engines are off and the names are called out. It's awesome to be cheered or booed or whatever if they care. You know what I mean? Love me or hate me, either way I'm on your mind. So I'm okay with either one of those. They have somebody that they're passionate about. That's what it's all about. So this is our passion, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, DJ. Again, congratulations on your big win, and we look forward to seeing you back at the racetrack.
Sounds good, boys. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks white.
Boom.
Oh, yep. Up and over and white.
There you go. Is that good? Now you can see it?
There we go. I can.
Oh, wow.
Ow.
All right. Anyway. Well, that was kind of a bit of a geek out, That was pretty neat. I don't know that we've really talked to a driver, at least since I've been on, that has really gone into detail about what goes into setting up a car,
Yeah.
And I know a lot of times we kind of talk about how we got into racing, why we're into racing. Rarely do we ever really talk about actual racing,
Right.
So I think that was very unique and very interesting of DJ and pretty cool.
Yeah. Being not really mechanically minded, I can tell you how a camera works, but I'm vaguely aware that a car has an engine of some kind.
Yeah, right. And that's in. It's everyone in that division, and that he's one of the better ones because he can talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what it takes to set up the car. He's very old school in that fashion.
Right.
He certainly has the right person
Yeah.
behind him. In front of him. Depends on what he did and if Dad's yelling at him or not, you know. But,
well, from what I understand, there was some discussion about the color of that car this year.
Yeah, right.
Because I know just between us, we've been kind of lobbying for that for a few years. I know ever since it was COVID, my boredom at home project doing all the iRacing throwback paint schemes, I think. So it's been at least 5 to 6 years that DJ's kind of had in the back of his head, hey, yeah, I want to do a yellow car.
Yeah, I remember Dave did one. It wasn't done like his '80s car.
Right, but it was like
it was yellow.
I want to say early to mid 2000s. It was basically the white paint scheme, but on a yellow body.
Right. And that's cool to have that. You know, we talk very much about community and family in the racing world, and you know, most of us are second and third generationers involved in racing because, let's face it, I think if you've got parents that aren't taking you to the racetrack or aren't not really interested in racing, you're probably not going to get yourself involved. You know,
right.
Fall into the right friend group. But that's why we do bus races and trailer races, to get those kind of people out to the racetrack and see what's going on. But,
and what I like about doing that this year is it seems like everyone we're doing actual racing too.
Yeah, at South Bend and Grundy. You know, so that's a unique setup that we haven't seen yet, and hopefully that plays out in racing's favor in the long run. And but yeah, it's always cool to kind of remember where we came from, you know. And certainly doing a throwback paint scheme, as simple as it might be, or as extensive as it might be for you, you know, having to do the design work that's not always the easiest or quickest or simplest.
Well, and you know, one of my favorite things about those old paint schemes is they're all done by hand.
Yeah.
So you know, you can get some wild and crazy wraps going on, but you know, I'm kind of a purist. I like the simple, you know, it could still in theory be hand painted car designs. And you know, a lot of back in the day, the paint scheme of the car was just the car was a solid color and you had a really fancy number on there. You know, you got your hand lettered sponsor, you hit up Stitz or Jive or somebody like that.
Yeah, certainly.
It's actually, when you know, with iRacing, the whole custom number versus stamp number. There's a lot of the paint schemes I did is a really plain looking car without the number on it.
Yeah, right.
So I think I did a Len Noah cell that's literally just a Dayglow orange solid body car. That's, you know, I think I put the Felpro logo on there for the quarter panel sponsor, but that's it because the entire car was the number.
Right. And he was, I mean, there were a few years where he kind of had a black hood and roof, but for the most part, he ran just a straight orange car, and that was always unique too. And if I remember correctly, he said we're about the only ones who could get that orange to pop in the photos.
Yeah, and that, you know, that gets a whole nother ball of wax opened up as far as digital printing and color science and stuff that I argue with the sales reps at work about. But
would you like to talk about color gamut? I'm sure all of our listeners love to hear about color gamut.
No, that is a different podcast.
Yes, but yeah, it was always good to hear from DJ. Congratulations to him, 100% big win. And he even talked about it. You know, you start questioning yourself there, you know, and then you kind of remember, you know, Kyle Busch. You just cherish him while you got him because you don't know when the next one's going to be, you know, or you don't know when the last one is, right? And so, but it seems like DJ is definitely doing well this year. He's got himself on a set of rails, and he's performing admirably out there at the Grundy County Speedway.
So, yeah, well, depending on how you want to look at the schedule, 3 out of the last 4 features, he has been right there at the line, either second or winning it himself.
He didn't say he had to move anybody. That kind of got out of his way. You think he's got him scared?
I think a lot of it was hot and everybody was trying to protect their car for 100 laps.
Yeah, sure. I can believe that.
Because, if to finish first, you must first finish.
That's right.
So you go out there for a 100-lap race and you tear it up on lap 20 because you're fighting somebody for 15th.
They said that last night on the radio. We pay you for the last one. We pay you for the last lap, not the first lap. So race with respect.
Yep.
And I think that could certainly be repeated at all racetracks to all drivers.
Oh, absolutely.
There's certainly times where you get heated and the character comes out and emotions run high and you start moving people and you start getting into things and rubbing a little bit harder than you should be, but
right. And what something we were talking about with DJ there, a 100-lap race, you have a whole lot more room for patience than you do in like a 15 or a 20-lap feature.
Right. Yeah, and that's why I like those short ones. I love good long races. The technical side of racing, as they explained, comes out in those longer races.
Right.
Those short races, man. I grew up.
So you like your banana ball features, and I like my baseball pitcher slugfest. That's a thing that we always had with Dad.
What is a pitcher slugfest? This is a racing podcast, sure, but we'll talk other sports.
Well, actually, I was going to go with football too. Dad would always like the low-scoring games where it was the defense that was doing all the hard work. So, you get pitchers on the mound that are strategizing and playing the batter, and you start talking
slugger fest. That would be
you start
a pitching duel.
Okay, pitching duel. Well, I mean, it depends on how they're feeling. It might be hot enough that the pitchers actually do have a slugfest.
One of the batters, it's going to be a slugfest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. It's the long race. The long race is really speak to like the strategist for how. We see this thing that happened on lap 5. That's going to come back on lap 95 and still be relevant.
Right. Yeah, and there's
because especially with as much character as Grundy has, you do the famous Larry Schuler find the tree root 3/4 of the way down the backstretch early on in the race, and you got a bent spindle the rest of the race. That's definitely going to affect the rest of the race.
Yeah, that could be a 10-lap heat.
Yeah, but you've got time afterwards to fix it. You can't really fix that stuff mid-race and still be in contention.
Right, definitely. But yeah, it's sounds like it was a good race. All the way through.
Yeah.
Too bad you guys couldn't have picked up any NASCAR superstars, but.
Yeah, that's fingers crossed. Hopefully, we're aiming for the future and always thinking about the next big thing. So hopefully we got something in the works at some point down the line, or even just the racing out there all season's been really, really awesome.
Yeah, good. I hope to get out there one of these days, but I'm kind of busy Fridays and Saturdays at this point.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got a spot in the camper for you in October.
I know you do. I know you do. As long as I don't fart too much, right?
Right. Well, I mean, Sunday, if you're not doing anything, we got an enduro.
Yeah, that's right.
If you want to start talking about future stuff now that we're at the back half of the podcast.
Yeah, so it's summer. It's fair season, as I alluded to earlier. So, yes, Hell Tour is running. They're starting their 5th week here and their final week. And they Montpelier tonight. And by the time this releases, they'll probably be at their last Michigan track. So they're in Michigan all week, and then head to Ohio Saturday and Sunday, wrapping things up. Late models will crown, I believe, that night. And then at the Prairie Dirt Classic, they will crown the Summit Modified National Champion. And right now, by all means, it looks like Tanner English out of Benton, Kentucky is going to, as long as he probably hits his marks this week, should wrap that up for the late models. And it looks like the points battle for the modifieds are between Zeke McKenzie and Ray Bollinger. And so it looks to be a fun week for those two.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're both on it the rest of the way. So that's get Dirt Vision to watch it. It's sure to be some good streaming if you're not headed out to the track or you got to work like me, and you watch it as late as you can, and then go to sleep and watch the highlights in the morning. So didn't have to worry about that last night at Kankakee. We got it all.
We saw the whole show.
Yeah, I gotta get my what's coming up here.
Hey, grab your notes.
These are not my notes. These are what's coming up. So,
That's notes.
as we said, fair season's upon us. We got the Grundy County Fair starting. Does it start Thursday?
It starts Wednesday, I believe. Wednesday, Cheryl's got a touch-a-truck going, so that'll be tomorrow or 2 days ago when you watch this. Cheryl's got a touch-a-truck going on the racetrack. Then Thursday, she's got the mini Grundy cars and the juice box racers are racing on Thursday. Friday, we've got, the regular night of racing. I think the Mid-Ams are the top division in that.
Yeah.
Friday,
and Midwest Pavement Midgets and HSRA.
The midgets are back. Yep.
That's what's on the schedule.
That is, yes. Thank you. Saturday, we were supposed to have a demo derby. I think the plans for that kind of all fell through, so there is no demo derby on Saturday. The Saturday event out there is the country tribute concerts. I don't recall who exactly the artists are, but yeah, country tribute artists there Friday night or Saturday night, sorry, and then Sunday we're back again for the Stars and Stripes 250 Enduro.
Back to enduro racing. Good. Yeah, there was a post out there kind of begging and pleading for some support because they certainly need it. And well,
enduros are better with more cars. It's it's a little rough to run an enduro with 15, 20 cars.
Yeah, I get
or
it.
The Shady Hill enduro that was a little rough too.
12.
Speaking of rough.
Oh yeah. Well, supervisor's down here. He wants attention. Hey, yeah. All right. So
yeah.
Our buddy Anthony Craven has the Falls Cup Richard Craven Memorial Special out at Fairbury American Legion Speedway. That's Falls. Getting Fallsy. This Saturday, the 11th, $5,000, $12 to win late models, $2,000, $12 to win modifieds. Also, race your way into the PDC modified portion is part of this night. $1,012 to win street stocks, plus $512 to win pro mods. And then they go to Midsummer Break on the 18th. And then, as I said, PDC week, which is the 22nd through the 25th. 22nd is Flow Night Racing in America, one for the road. So all that's coming up out there at Falls. I will certainly watch highlights unless we get rained out again. Because I think last year we got rained out and I was able to watch it, and I fell asleep when the rain moved in, and then woke up and I think they started the late model feature at like 1 in the morning.
Ugh.
Yeah,
that's a long night.
So I fell asleep again. Halfway through, but Brian Shirley won it last year, and that was pretty cool because Brian Shirley is very decorated, certainly over there in Illinois, but just hadn't quite got that one done yet, and he was able to do it. And then over at Kankakee, we've got the weekly racing plus vintage cars plus rescheduled autograph night Friday night, so it's going to be kind of a longer one, which is okay because presumably nobody's working on Saturday, but if you do have to work on Saturday, you're in for a long one. And then followed up with weekly racing on the 17th and Kids Summer Bash. I guess we'll have to find out what that is or follow on Facebook. And then after that, they head into a month off. So July 24th, 31st, August 7th, August 14th, no racing at the Kankakee County Speedway. As we just said, it's fair season. The Kankakee County Fairgrounds will be hosting their fair. Typically, there's a night in there for racing, but they did not have a set promoter, and so the fair had to do what the fair had to do. They filled the night. So potentially next year there's a night for racing during the fair, so it's not a total wash for four or 5 weeks, but that's what we're looking at this year. So I'll have plenty of Friday nights off actually. So maybe I will sneak out to Grundy if I get off early enough.
There you go.
But yeah, so that's it on the dirt Illinois side. Shady Hill, I don't have their schedule, but
didn't you make their schedule?
I did. I should know it, but I know this week we've got. I just made the flyer. Oh my goodness. We're bringing somebody in. Oh yes, we're bringing in the Indiana State Mod Lights. Half the size, all the speed, or whatever I put it there. So that flyer.
Not like half the cylinders, twice the drama.
No. Well, maybe, I don't know. It's racing, but we'll have all 4 classes plus those guys. And Billy and Tammy are working to reschedule the Firecracker 50 portion of 4th of July plus fireworks will also be lit off. Right now, it looks like the 18th. I haven't confirmed that, so pencil it in. But that's kind of what it's looking like for that show. Yeah.
Well, while we're in Indiana, we got mini wedges are racing Friday night at Plymouth. I'd say under the lights, but I'm not sure they're going to be racing long enough to need the lights turned on. But yeah, Friday night, gates open at 5:30 for mini wedges. Go see the kids. We'll be at Grundy. So I'm always sad when I have to miss it. Brian will be at Kankakee. I'll be at Grundy. So unfortunately, we're not going to be there for the division that we sponsor. But schedule is what it is this year. But yeah, if you're not doing anything else, if you're out that way, go watch the mini wedge kids. Give them some support. That is some of the best racing you will see all week. Melissa and crew put on a great show. The kids are awesome. The families are awesome. It's just so much fun. And then because of the schedule flip-flop, I think they kind of took an informal poll and decided that they're going to get more people showing up at the race Saturday. The Gambler out at Plymouth on Saturday. From what I saw, it's a little bit different from how they usually do it. There's no halfway break, no non-points night, just a bunch of money thrown at a bunch of drivers. Outlaw late models, street stocks, and Hornets. Going to be a great night. I'm planning on being there as long as everything, maintains its current schedule.
Yeah, right. Well, we certainly have an action-packed July coming up. All kinds of racing across the board. If you don't get to it, that's on you.
Yeah.
We've led the horse to water. Now it's your turn to drink. Get to the racetrack.
That's a different podcast too.
Get to the racetrack, support them. Get a hot dog, get a cheeseburger, buy a soda, buy a Miller Lite, Coors Light, Yingling. If you're in Indiana and they sell it, get a beer. Support the racetracks. That's what we need to keep doing. My one positive is we got the Hell Tour race in, all 5 divisions. Decent time.
And say almost made it home the same day.
Almost. We were about 20 minutes late, but that's the downside of living an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
But yet, somebody just in their feels comes out and says, something mouths off to Kankakee and maintaining professionalism. People typically don't respond, but our buddy Aaron responded. God love him. And that's awesome. Certainly the way that comment chain went down, I was ready to respond, but I saw Kankakee getting in, and I don't know who was responding, which one of them. There's about 4 or 5 of them on there that might respond. So I don't know if it was Billy, Evan, BK3, Steven. I'm not sure which one, but that was kind of entertaining. And this idiot, just moving the field post on him. Okay, yeah, you got the showing in time, but you only ran half a show. Where was the last chance races? Where was this? Where was that? And
they were at the back of the features.
This clown. But yeah, my one positive is that Kankakee was standing up for them. Somebody was standing up for themselves. Aaron was standing up for Kankakee. That's awesome. I was too busy delivering beer to insert myself into that drama. But by all means, it was very positive to have a very successful show out there. You know, good car counts. Holy shit, another guy just flew off the track. Oh, my goodness. Wow. I got to stop watching this race. Oh, baby. That could have been dangerous. Anyway.
All right, so Brian's two positives: having the technology to record this podcast and watch Hell Tour.
Yeah, holy shit. That modified, literally just, Jason Kinney just drove right off of turns 1 and 2. I don't know if something broke or what. He just was like Dukes of Hazzard right to the pits.
Yeah, I saw somebody last night at Kankakee did that. Kind of took the hard right off of 2 there and just kind of launched themselves up over.
That was nothing compared to what I just watched.
Well, I didn't see what you just watched. I just know what I watched last night.
Holy shit. Anyway. Y'all can figure out who won Montpelier. What was I talking about?
Yeah. We were at the one positive. You were. Okay, now we're gonna get copyright struck.
Holy shit, we ain't getting no copyright, nothing. Hey, come on, I'm back. Yep, there we go. All right, what was I talking about?
We were at one positive.
Oh, one positive, yes. Kankakee standing up for themselves to internet trolls, and Aaron, our buddy Aaron. Thanks, Aaron. Did a great job shooting last night. I still got some notes for you. Mainly
not take so many pictures.
fill the frame and use your flash a little bit better, but that's
that might possibly be on getting some more camera under him.
And I need to quit breaking the heavy duty flashes.
Guys, yeah, stop breaking the okay stuff so I can invest in good stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, so kudos to Kankakee having a good show last night and sticking up for themselves today.
Yep. All right. So, well, I'm actually going to delay my one positive because we did the thing this week, made the post, got some feedback.
Yeah, we did.
So before we get to my positives, we're going to do what we promised and actually read off some of these positives.
They're all Grundy people too anyway.
They are not all Grundy people. Buju is not a Grundy people. Buju had just been to Grundy.
Oh, that's right. Not all Grundy.
So Buju, his one positive is B-Feature Superstar Evan Verdine and the 72-hour Saturn, which, once again, shout out to everybody that made that their project happen, and Evan for bringing home the feature win. James Dimmitt, we're about to plug him here in a minute when we run down our sponsors. One positive is DJ Weltmeyer racing from the back of the field to win the 100-lap late model features. So, yeah, funny enough, we just talked to DJ. So, let's see, what else we got here? Christy Penrod, we got to get her back on the show here at some point. She changed it up and went to Redbud for Supermotos, always a great experience. Doug, forgive me because I'm going to do my best here. Doug Perk, Grundy Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Chicagoland would have been 4 in a row, but weather held him back on Friday. Fun times. And I'm all for that, man. The more racing you can get in a weekend, the better. That's an aspiration, not a actual schedule, because God knows we have enough time being in multiple places at the same time.
Yes.
And then Kendall used to work for us. She got a little verbose. She was at Chicagoland this weekend. Got to talk to an NC North Carolina grad student doing interviews with people at different NASCAR races about NASCAR racing and what it means to them. So Kendall and her cousin, I think, correct me on that, Cody Lawler, street stock racer out east. They got interviewed, and the student said he'd interviewed about 75 people, but hadn't run into anyone yet that had actually been a racing family or grown up around people. So it's interesting for the student there to hear what Kendall and Cody had to talk about, being in a racing family, racing themselves. And that's, I guess he didn't interview enough people, because God knows half the people that we know that have heard of a racetrack or at Chicagoland this weekend.
You would have gone out to the infield with the campers. You would have had the whole 3/4 of Grundy out there.
Yeah, a good portion of Illiana.
Yeah, hell yeah. And that's
so
all.
Yeah, so that's gonna segue into my one positive. Chicagoland Motor Speedway was back on the schedule. Like I said earlier, I feel like they showed that they deserve their place on that schedule. So just maybe put it back like in September. It's the first race of the chase or something. Not up against the Bettenhausen, because the Bettenhausen will always take precedence. But we got that maybe that last weekend in September where nothing's going on.
Football season.
But but still. Anyway, so yeah, Chicagoland Motor Speedway roaring back to life, and for as wet as everything was, I think putting on a hell of a show. My ultimate plan is when they come back, I'd like to be back there again. Yeah. So yeah.
Maybe with a camera.
Yeah, maybe with a camera.
Yeah,
Although I hear sitting down and watching the races from the grandstands every once in a while is a good point.
Yeah, have a cheeseburger, some popcorn, and a root beer.
There you go.
Yeah, you'll have a good old time. Will your gallbladder allow that?
I'm gonna say I'll have a good time all the way up until I have to digest all that.
Go ahead, milk it some more.
Hey, you brought it up, Travis. He brought it up.
Well, I certainly saw those posts. I did forget about them. I was supposed to write them down. Forgive me. Late night last night, work this morning. Barely had time to kind of. I didn't even have schedule. I had to grab my schedules to look at them. I didn't even write things down for coming up. But thank you to all those that contributed. What's the word? Interacted with us. We really appreciate it. It's awesome.
Yeah, we'll do it again next week.
Yeah, it's awesome to know that you all are out there and are listening to us and agree with us, disagree with us. So be it. We're always open for
as long as you're watching.
We're listening. We do Spotify. Although I think the video goes on there. Anyway, if you're driving, you should probably be listening, not watching. So thank you to all our listeners. Thank you to all of our supporters. S4 Motorsports, Mom, Damn it videos. Go check his YouTube page out. It's YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's YouTube.
Yeah. Go check out his YouTube page for all of the Grundy action. And After Hours Mowing. Thank you, Big Dirty Bob, for continuing to support us. We'll send a bill one of these days to you for all of this free publicity we've been giving you. So just keep mowing them lawns, and here we are.
I say we got a whole lot of rain this weekend, I'm sure, but it needs their lawn mowed.
Yeah. But I know we are in the second week of July, which we're over halfway for the year, and you don't want to think about it, but before we know it, snow is going to be flying.
Right. And it's going to be brackets weekend too, so you got to.
Yeah. So thank you for listening to all of us ramble. Hopefully you enjoyed the DJ Weltmeyer segment. Very informative.
Hopefully you enjoyed all three segments.
You don't have to. Just enjoy the DJ one. I don't even remember what I rambled on about, truthfully. And then 2 commercial breaks for Big Rex. As we like Big Rex. Insert Tony Stewart here about his
run him one way, run him back ways, and
just rock him. So
just looking at the crowd for Crash Fest versus I don't know, insert regular night schedule here.
Speaks volumes. But thanks again for everyone listening, and we will catch you at the racetrack this weekend.